the open female. What a row! What a row! Well done, girls. They haven't missed a beat this weekend. Winning the interstate, winning the national Trans-Tasman, and now taking out the ASRL. They must be exhausted. The form crew, and they got it done when it counted. Well done. I think we may have had the Currumbin Hunters or Port Kembla sneak in for second.
All right, well, here we are again. Discussions with Dowks. I've got Matt Chooky Wildman in the hot seat again. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Pleasure to be
here. Episode 2, what we thought we'd do here is dive down into a topic and an area that we did discuss in episode 1, but the focus on episode 2 is going to be on the Cockatoos. An absolute banger of a season that they had in the 23-24 season. And as someone on the outside watching from afar and sometimes getting a lucky opportunity to jump in and sweep them, but just so admiring of what you guys did this year. I'm really excited about talking to you one-on-one about that crew, about the girls and the Cockatoos. And then we're going to get them in for part B of episode 2 and actually talk to the girls too. So exciting times ahead. I've got a little result sheet here that I saw the girls posted on their Instagram page. What a season it was. Queensland Team Selection Carnival, Queensland Women Interstate Representation, overall Interstate Champions, ASRL Open, gold medal, ASRL Boat Relay, gold medal, Australian Team Selection Carnival, and what an amazing event that was. Trans-Tasman Test, gold, taking that out and contributing to the overall point score. Gold in the state titles for Queensland, silver in the state lifesaver relay, bronze in the state surf boat relay, Australian short course gold medalists and champions, Australian lifesaver relay gold medal, which we did talk about in episode 1. Amazing feat there after chasing that for about a decade. And then the Australian surf titles, they've just got 8th down the bottom. And we'll probably have a chat about that. But, mate, welcome back. And Cockatoos, wow. I guess a good starting place is, can you just introduce the crew? Who are the girls that you've spent a lot of time with and achieved so much in this past season?
Yeah, well, the crew is Lisa Mosley is the stroke. She's been in the club back in the early days, maybe 2011, I believe. And the second stroke is Sasha Lay. Sasha O'Keefe, after getting married. She came to the club in 2016. And then Calissa Brockett, or Calissa Taylor now as it is.
Yeah.
She and Tara Coates came to the club 2021. So, yeah, they're the girls.
Yeah. And they came together. That was
in 2021.
That
was when they formed the crew as the Cockatoos.
Yep. And the girls themselves will probably talk more about their journey, and I'm keen to find out where they got their bronze, where they first started rowing, early sweeps and whatnot. And obviously you've progressed through to be absolute elite and inspirational female rowers and what they've done again this year. And I'm so excited to hear more and more about that. What was the early conversation just with you, but to target you as a sweep? They've come at different stages. They probably rowed in a few different crews, but what's your early recollection of how that panned out?
Well, in the 2021 pre-season, just got the phone call to see whether we could get the crew going, and know that's who it was going to be. I hadn't rowed with Calissa or Tara before, but I was aware of Lisa from the early days, and I'd had a season with Sash successfully, so it wasn't too hard a question to answer. I thought this is going to be good if they're prepared to do the work and row with the girls I didn't know about. I'll just take it on their good decisions. So yeah, I'll make it work as best I can.
Yeah, and your feelings, pretty elite crew of girls coming together, and you've had elite male and female crews over the years. Did you feel any pressure, or this was just a natural, let's get it together and go? Or
Yeah, heap of pressure. I really knew that Tara had so much experience, and I thought she was quite a disciplined person, and I was nervous around how I would handle, a strong personality. And Calissa was such a bubbly, bright girl. I was, very happy to.
Yep.
I didn't think that'd be a problem.
Yeah.
And no, it was really exciting, and you could just start of a season when you get some people in and the picture changes when you're sweeping the crew. You're always looking at trying to improve that picture, and the initial picture I was looking at was fantastic. I thought, how am I going to improve this?
Yeah. I asked that question because, being the newbie, I've jumped in just a couple of times to take those girls, and I'm nervous as a green sweep in a boat with so much experience going. Don't stuff this up. Make sure this is good, whether we've gone out the alley or just doing a 5-minute piece in the creek. And I'm a nervous sweep at the back with the caliber of athlete and the females that are there. But then the flip side of that, I just get so energised by those girls. One, watching and just being around them, be it under the tent or carrying a boat that's theirs or whatever. I just in awe, to be honest. So yeah, that's a mini version of what you've just been saying when you first grabbed them and we're ready to start back in 2021. But yeah, I get nervous and a bit like the anxiety's there.
Well, I think what happens is you have a role to fill, and you're standing there, and they leave space for you to do your job. They're doing things at a high standard, so you've only got one option, and it's to man up and take control and start doing it.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Spot on, mate. I'm going to jump straight into this one. I just read out the rap sheet for what the 2023-24 season was, and anyone in their right mind would look at those results and go, wow, if I ever had a chance with a crew to do that, let alone an open women's crew, but a 19s maybe, or a reserve grade, or 23s coming through, but an open women's crew on a year when there is a Trans-Tasman and everything else, it's a massive amount of achievement. And then to get to Aussies and know that you were on, and there was some good racing going down there at Alex this year. There were some interesting conditions. You're in a semi-final. You're leading a semi-final with another crack open women's crew and the Hunters, both there in a good position to qualify. And the ocean, stuff out of your control, just does what it does. And there's a result that doesn't see you in the top three to go through to a final to put that cherry on top to win an Open Australian. I want to throw that at you really early in the piece and just talk about the emotion and what it was and what comes to mind with that recollection after everything that was achieved, and that was the last one.
Yeah, well, when you're at the Aussies and it seems to be the holy grail that your whole campaign is based around. It seems to be that way, but going through that last day, it's difficult to try and hit every moment that might be destructive to your campaign. And you want to be, you have to win the start through the waves. The race probably wasn't long enough to have that ability to stretch out the field as you went out around the can.
Yeah.
So a little bit on the shorter side and plenty of waves as for only crews down one end or in the middle. So you couldn't really guard yourself from elimination. So, we had two. We had the first semi where the Hunters and us come across the line in fourth and fifth. So one of us is out. I thought that'd be us out then. And then the second time, we're coming in the lead, and I just saw the wave and the crew just to our right, coming through us at the line at the wrong time. So you can only take that into the next season or the next opportunity and say, we've got to put that to bed now at the start or in the next phase or at the turn, and you got to finish your race. That's part of your race plan.
Yeah. Some interesting comments. I agree 100%. And the tangent to it is, and you said this to me in my first year of sweeping, when we had a bit of a sweeps dinner and whatnot. He said, Freddie Dowks, geez, you girls had a season. I think it was the Cowgirls that we had, and we had a lot of fun, and they achieved some things and did well. But there's a whole lot more than just that one race. And I don't know, over the years you can pigeonhole yourself and say everything's about the Aussies. But the journey and the results that you guys have had there is so much bigger than just one race. When you've got, elements of surf and weather and a lane draw in a particular alley that's not the best alley, that's going to work against you, and you've got no say in it. It's not in your control. And so the actual journey of that season and what you guys have built and achieved together as a group of human beings since 2021 and first coming together, I think is a whole lot more than just that. But you sort of go, oh yeah, we didn't win Aussies, but we didn't win Aussies. And the big picture is it's not just about Aussies. Yeah, with so much else going on.
Yeah, that's right. There's wins in everything around getting yourself up to compete and to be a potential winner at the Aussies. That's where the win is. Inspiring your club mates, competing against someone like the Hunters and causing them to train harder. It's fantastic seeing them have such a successful season. There's lots of spin-offs. When you come home from a training session, I was talk to Nikki, gee, they're on today, it's looking good. Or, maybe you go to carnival and you talk to opposition sweep, a bit of chat about how's the crew going. Oh yeah, they're going pretty good. There's that whole journey about preparing for the finale is great fun. It's awesome.
Yeah. There's so much more I could talk about that. And the other one is you put together the perfect race. There's nothing more that you probably could have done. And the lane and coming in and a bit of a washout there where the rip and the water's flowing against you, and someone else on a shallower bank picks a runner up and comes through, and you just watch it. And that's surf. That's what we love about surf. We know that there's days there that we'll have our moment to shine where maybe we weren't leading, got hit at the start and came back into fourth, got away and scraped through. Plenty of those over the years, I'm sure. And then there's others when you've been out in front and it just hasn't happened, and you watch it dissolve just in your lap, just going, we've done everything we could. We were there for it. The Wolfings were another one this year. Watch them win ASRL, and they definitely weren't leading. There were plenty of times in the season they were leading and got dudded. And so everyone has his moment. Every cockatoo has their moment, so to speak. And but the consistency, I guess, with what they've done outside of that Aussie result was just phenomenal. So I want to really highlight that during this discussion. The key question here is what's your particular standout moment of the season? I'm going to pin you to pick one. I know there's so many that are there, but is there something that was just the greatest experience or the greatest result or something in this past season that you just went, wow, around all those wow moments? Something in particular?
Well, the new thing for me was to represent Australia. So that is the greatest honour, and it was all very new, and probably just because the girls had all done it before, they had experience around that, and I hadn't, and just the way that all came about, how hard they worked for it, the preparation in going to that race, how it all unfolded, and then how their reaction was after, and just preparing for that event in February. Everything that they did really to try and get me into it was the best thing about the season.
Yeah,
full of other great moments, of course, but sport's a social thing. You lift your own standards and inspire yourself, and just being in the crew is that's a big one for me.
Mate, how proud were you, and how good was it to put that green blazer on in the presentation?
Yeah, I never thought I could get there. You think your family and parents and all the people have done in the past that you respect and all that. It's a buzz.
I might be biased, but I don't think there's a more handsome man that's ever done that. The green blazer. Mate, I think I said to you after episode 1, and I don't think it was captured, but there were some weeks before that selection trial leading into Swansea Belmont, and I think I said to you, and I shared it with the girls, and I said, I've had a dream. I've got this clear-cut image in my head. I've seen Chooky standing there, proud as punch, with a big, gorgeous smile in a green blazer. And mate, it was vivid. It was colourful. And most of the time, I'd probably keep that stuff to myself. But it was such a strong image. And prior to the event, I'm sure it was 2 weeks out, and I think I shared it with you. I said, mate, it's a premonition or something, but I've just seen it. I think this is going to maybe happen. And then to be there, I love what ASRL do. I love the Trans-Tasman concept and the year about and the 23s and the youth pathway gets a chance. And then obviously the opens to shine with the Blazers. So to be there and watch that grueling day at Swansea Belmont and you guys be one of the final 3 crews there, having a crack at it, knowing that it went to 3 races on even points to know that whoever was going to win that last time was going to be there. So it was amazing to watch from the outside and amazing to see you get a blazer and then go and represent with those girls. The event itself in Lawn, obviously on home soil. What are your memories about that? It's pretty fresh, I suppose, this season, but the new step up. Normally you do it all at a club level and an interstate level, representing Queensland many, many times, but you and the Cockatoos there as part of that, as a group with you included for the first time. How was that?
Yeah, it was amazing. Did it affect our preparation? But you're always training, and by the time you get to the end of February, you want to be pretty close to your best, I suppose. So we anticipated that. We wanted to be in really good shape by that event, and there's a lot of nerves around representing Australia and just doing your best and not having, the chance that you may make a mistake that's a bit fatal to your quest. But on the whole, I think it lifted our standard. We lost 1 race. There was that moment where the chasing crew got onto a run, pulled up next to us, and then just got onto a wave and went to the lead. So it came down to the 3rd race to try and win that one as well, but that made it more exciting.
Yeah.
Made some friends, and we found that the Kiwis were fantastic people. That was good. But then once that was done on the Saturday, and we'd done the interstate on the Friday, then we had the main event on the Sunday, and we probably put down one of the races that you remember in the final there. I just had a reserve grade crew in the final, and the boys didn't get away at the start. And quite often when you get adversity to overcome, they went hard early, and I learnt from then that this is going to be a real dogfight. So we got into the open women's final. We're in lane 1, and we got around the can, and we did our normal thing out of the can, and then I just said, right, that's it. They're going early, and it just worked. We got to the lead, and the pressure came on, and then we won that race too. So I had a bit of insight by having the race before in the reserve grade. So I was very lucky. But the whole weekend was a real buzz. It's amazing.
It was. Yeah. The event they put on at Lawn, while a little bit further for us to travel, was a real showcase. It's a beautiful part of the world. the weather was good, the swell was on early on, and then it settled down a little bit, and just, I don't know, everything about it was just a great trip away. The young girls that I had sharing a boat with you down there, which was interesting too. We didn't want to use the boat too much because he knew that the Johnny Munro had a lot of serious racing to do. So I was very conscious about when the swell was up early and trying to have a warm up road, don't damage any gear, make sure we're nice and safe, preserve this boat because it's got a lot of action coming up. Yeah, a great weekend, and what you guys did for the club, for the state, for your nation down there, and then to come through and win that Open Women's. There's some video footage that we'll show on that again that we showed in episode 1, but it's worth seeing again. Just unbelievable and on point, absolutely. I've got 2 questions on the back of that. Your individual preparation, did you change anything, tweak anything, try and get fitter, stronger, leading into representing Australia? You know, a sweep does what they do, and you maintain and look after yourself. But then, hang on, I'm wearing the green and gold now, and the girls have been there a few times, and it's my first time. Was there some mental and physical preparation that changed a little bit for you and went to maybe a new level, a new space?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I went did hip small sessions, and yeah, the physical preparation was a big change. So yeah, I was feeling very confident about. I'd probably trimmed off 4 or 5 kilos, and I was hoping it was going to be reasonably flat. And yeah, I just had that physical sort of confidence because I was fitter and I'd done a little bit extra work and done the extras. So now I was jumping around on the beach. It was a good month.
Yeah. And from someone on the outside looking in, you looked $1 million. And I think the carryover and the feed from being physically fit just gives you that mental edge too. You've done the work just as the girls have, and you're up for it. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that. One thing that comes to mind, you've got a peak there in February, and I know Wilco talks about it too when he had an Open Women's and they represented. And the training program from then having a peak in a major event there, which a lot of clubs do, I suppose, but not just ASRL. They got Trans-Tasman representing your country, and then they come back and then a number of weeks then leading into the Aussies. Because you wouldn't have had that before, first time with that crew representing. So you've peaked for that in February, and then you've gone another, I forget how many weeks it was now, but maybe 8 weeks, right through to a fairly long season there to then peak again. Did much change? Did you read into that or have to relook at what those girls were going to do compared to other crews that obviously weren't representing Australia that you had too? What went into that just to make sure that they were still going to be on or freshened up, or did they have a little bit of time off after that to then rejuvenate, refresh, and get back into it? I was just curious to hear, knowing that Wilco talks a lot about making a mistake with his planning and programming and the training they did, and then they got to Aussies, and I think they fell over in the quarterfinal. And his girls that represent Australia never got to make that final, and probably a bit like you guys to get that cherry at the end of where Aussies was. So, yeah, just keen to hear a little bit about that, maybe.
Well, I think we, with our season, as we've got a little bit more experience, and the shift work and the way, sport fits in with life, we were doing, say, 3 days in a row of a session. So we did Friday, Saturday, Sunday mornings, and then girls would do all their fitness and gym strengths and get together in ergos and stuff during the week, and then our next session might be the next weekend for 2 or 3 days in a row. So we didn't have a huge opportunity to just have that sort of standard Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah, weekly routine doesn't happen with shift work, does it?
No. So there was a fair bit of rest. It was, and there was enough time to have a rest and to try and build it a little bit again. And then I think we had a bit of illness, and Lisa might have come down with a sore back right towards the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an enforced layoff there.
Yep.
So freshen up, but there's so much experience in the team that it was always going to be a case of just getting them psychologically ready, mentally ready at the end, and
Yep.
There's a lot of work being done in years gone past, months gone past, and to get to the top of that little mountain in February.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge jump.
Yeah, no, good to hear, because it's just unique. It's unique on the full planning of things that they reach that pinnacle to represent, and they've got to peak there in February. And then what they do, and if it's been a long season, how do you keep the motivation and that? But I think you know it there. The girls have been doing it for that long. They know exactly what's required. And sometimes there is some things that are forced upon them with injury or illness, or stuff happens, and sometimes that can be an advantage where they get some extra rest and the recovery's there.
I remember we had one session where it might have been wasn't on point. The moods might have been a bit different. So, I had something planned out, 35 minutes of hard work, and I just knew it wasn't going to work. So I think we went out the alley and just got a wave over the bow on the way out, and then sat out there and talked about it and caught a couple of waves and just rode in. And I got a couple of texts later on, said, "It's exactly what I needed. Thanks for that." So that sometimes you just got to read the room.
I was just going to say, how important is it for a sweep to read the boat? And the way they turn up and the energy levels and the type of week they've had, if it's early or late, or knowing a little bit without too much about what they've had going on, and your crew turns up, not just cockatoos, but all crews, and you've got multiple crews, and the ability and the awareness and perception to read the boat, read the room, as you say, and sort of know what we might be in for.
Yeah, how important it's everything, isn't it? So the experience has got to be, social. You've got to try and get them to inspire themselves, leave like they've done some work, or they've worked on something, or they've taken something out of it. It's not just get there, get your job done, and jump back in the car and go on to your next thing. You've got to take into account what they're going to feel like.
Yeah.
How they're going to turn up next time.
Yeah.
What it was like last time. Yeah,
exactly. And
it's got easier over the years.
You want to hope so, eh? Mate, I did a bit of research. There's 21 types of cockatoo. There's 14 native to Australia. And the galah, I'm just going to throw a couple of questions at you here. So in the boat, when it's all serious and it's all happening, which one's the galah? Which one's the pressure reliever? Which one sort of can bring it down or be the joker out of the cockatoos crew when it's needed? It might be all of them, but I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm after some single individuals if you can do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, the youngest one often, produces a fair bit of fun and a few live moments.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say she's a good laugh. She does have a good laugh on her.
Yeah.
But I suppose a galah in another sense would be Lisa. She loves to celebrate.
Yep.
So, they're all the different personalities.
Exactly.
Pressure reliever.
Yeah.
I don't know who does that. Maybe that's me.
Yeah. And sometimes it might be. That's exactly right. With your ability to read the boat, read the room, and go, you know what? We just need to take the edge off this.
Say something stupid.
Yeah. What about the joker? Who's the biggest joker in the crew? Any pranksters there, or anyone that's just?
I don't know. So she comes up with a few funny ones sometimes.
Yeah.
She provides a fair bit of strength and performance in her manner. So I think maybe she feels that the others are under pressure.
Yeah.
Sometimes she just lets it off.
Yeah. Because again, as an outsider looking in, that the cockatoo crew, including yourself, obviously, the love that all of you have for each other, the love that you have for the sport, the love that you have for the surf club, Currumbin Beach Vikings, is just admirable. It's just amazing. And the spin-off of that is just how much fun. I look at the achievement role and what you guys achieved this year, but they just seem to be having so much fun. And so the balance of doing the hard work and knowing what's got to be done, white line fever, getting in there and doing it, switching the flicking the switch when it has to happen. But in and around that, under the tent, training days and other bits and pieces, they had a lot of fun. So there's a really good balance there. And I was just curious with the personalities in the boat. Yeah, who might have been that one, and when they're in and around it, not having to do the hard work when they flick the switch, just having a damn good time with what they're doing with family and kids and everything else they've got going on, including yourself. Yeah, it's a good recipe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think they fully get what it is to be a member, and an open boat crew used to be a very significant membership of the club. So they definitely perform that role really well. They take it as a badge of honour to have the others to look up to them. And then the sport, what it means to them is I did ask them one day down at Currumbin Carnival, I think 2022, there early in the season. What is it? You've had a year off. How? Well, maybe that was 23. How did what did you miss, and what do you like about rowing, and just the social interaction? How rowing in the same crew as the others makes them improve and get inspired, and someone said they just love winning. The act of winning, it makes them feel good and achievement. So, they just feed off each other. It's a really quite a unique situation. They all bring something to the team. Tara's great discipline and high standards, and Calissa's youth and energy, and Sasha's performance and power, and Lisa's just strength and endurance. So, altogether it makes a great team.
What a combination. Yeah. And at the end of the day, just good humans, just great people to be around. Like I say, I just watch and you talk and you listen, and the role model that they are for young athletes, men and women, coming through. And you're under the tent with a lot of boat crews. I think Currumbin had 25 boat crews this year, and those girls are there, and they really lead it from the front. But they're not backwards in helping someone else out, having a comment, having a chat, watching other races, giving feedback, jumping in a crew on a training day to help out. I just love that. That's the big picture stuff. Elite athletes at what they do, but not pigeonholing themselves that they just do this and the elitism stops with them. They're really paying it forward in spades, just as you are, to make the people around them better. It's inspiring to be a part of and see and witness firsthand. So I just love it. Bit of a weird question. What do you think other crews think or feel when they line up, they see a heat draw and they're on the line next to the Cockatoos? And this might be a heat, but I'm talking more the pointy end of some serious races, and they know that you're there in the semi. What other crews or sweeps? What do you reckon they think?
Well, I could only reflect on what it was like for me coming through the early time. So initially, no, we're up against good ones. But when you get to the point where you only want to race the good ones, that's when you're doing well. So what do I think? I think the ones who are really lifting their performance and going the right way, I think they think, great, we get to go against the Cockatoos again. So I imagine they'd be keen for it.
Yeah.
Knock them off. That's the goal.
Because I think between you guys and the Hunters, and there's a healthy relationship there, and you're pushing each other. And again, two of the greatest sweeps in you and Lyle, and they represented last year, which was amazing, and got a trip to New Zealand. So you've got two in the same club. Just amazing. Couple of crews there that all good role models, and to draw a heat with both of those in your another club, looking and going, holy hell, we're up for it here. But it's the measure. You get to gauge well they're the yardstick, they're the measure. We're going to see where we're at. Is our season on track? Are we performing well? And if they get close to you or manage to knock you off, then they're obviously going really, really well in the current state of play.
Yeah, well, I think this year we were probably fortunate in the final side of things, and I'd suggest they would have beaten us, you know, maybe 49% of the time. And the previous season, I think we were knocking them over in the heats, and then they'd get us in the final. So
Yeah,
um, yeah, I can tell you that it's the accelerators all the way down to the floor if the hunters are in our race.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's game on for you. So we talked about other crews looking at you guys, and then here are you guys measuring up against another Currumbin crew that is just as elite, just pushing each other all the way. And that's got to be healthy. It's a good, healthy relationship. I know it is with the sweeps, and I know it is with the girls too as athletes, but when it comes race time, we're all there to win, especially at that level. You've done the work. There's a lot of commitment and effort, time gone into being the best you can be. But at the end of it, when the race is over, and everyone's just good mates again, and I love that in the club. I guess I'd be keen to hear what you say about it, but a lot of people on the outside have said, "Oh, there must be a lot of infighting and that with that many open men's crews in the club. Surely they don't all get along." And I'm like, mate, no way. I don't know where you get that information from because you're there, witness it firsthand, and everyone's supportive of each other, and it's a beautiful combination, especially to manage as Stinky does and Dwighty and Joey Fraser in years gone by. 25 crews all trying to come together and share gear and manage this and manage that, and then line up on the line when it's time and race each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of time goes into it, the training, and I think you just got to be, efficient and effective. And if you're focusing on someone else's journey, you're not doing the best thing for yourself. So I think we've just got good at that. We're fortunate enough to have good gear, so there's it's not really a gear issue. You look after your stuff as well through experience, and touch wood, but I've been lucky enough not to break anything for 3 years.
Geez, that's a good record. Yeah.
So when everything's in a nice, tidy, organised order,
Yeah,
you can do some really good work.
yeah,
Getting along with the other teams, it's just an inspiration.
Yeah.
As much as it is racing the better crews around the country or in the state or in the creek, just trying to make the boat go fast. That's the thing.
that's the secret.
Yeah, pretty simple.
And I will ask you, I'm going to, the girls probably will talk more about what their sessions are and their weekly routines and bits and pieces too, but ask you later about a couple of tips about elite crews and trying to make them go better and know what's going on. But before we do that, I want to know who in the Cockatoos always turns up early. Who's the most consistent person that turns up early for training?
Yeah, well, Sasha she'd turn up first.
Yeah.
She drives 45 minutes from up the other end of the coast.
Wow.
She's there at 4:15 easily.
Yep.
And Tara, she probably pops in last.
Yeah.
For Lisa, she only drives 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But the effort to get there. She organises the training. She organises the girls. Comes to me about when we're going to be training.
This is Lisa or
This is Sasha.
Yep.
So there's only one person really to deal with.
Yep.
As far as time changes and all that sort of thing. So if she organises, she's there first.
I think that's key. Like so many sweeps and crews listening will just be going, how do some of them do it? With multiple crews, knowing that there's the organiser that's there, and obviously that's Sasha, in their group chat, working out rosters and what's going on and kids and family and everything else, making sure that they're trying to hit those times and hit those days to be there with your commitment, again, with multiple crews. It's such a tricky balance, to make it all work. So, no, I was keen to hear what that was. Who in the crew loves the big surf? Can you go out and you might be out the alley and there's a nice wave on? Which of the four girls just froths on catching big waves, maybe more than anyone else, if there is someone?
Yeah, maybe Lisa. She's probably the most surf surf upbringing, possibly.
Yep.
I wouldn't say any of them are maybe against it. Maybe Calissa might, she might have a little bit of stress sometimes going out in the waves.
Yeah.
But Tara loves a wave over the back of the head.
Yeah, up there in the bow.
Yeah. But they all enjoy the surf. Try to experience that surf boat feeling. Getting a little bit of risk and reward and getting hit and taking something on that might challenge you.
Yeah.
They're really good in the surf as far as balance and surf work and keeping the boat balanced. Sasha's got a bit to say about keeping the balance in the boat.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to talking to her about the numerous sports that she's represented in and how elite she's been on the top level of a lot of stuff. So the transfer of learning and coming in too from her is going to be a good conversation to have. Yeah, and they've all got their roles to play. I like asking that question. I think sweeps and crews might associate with it because I know the young chaos girls will call a wave out the alley, and it's your daughter that says, "Yep, we're going," and Geordie just loves it. And there's a couple of other girls that look at me and go, "No, not this one, not this one." So the risk and reward and the building of experience and the building of trust too, and knowing what their roles are when you're pulling onto a slightly bigger wave and then you're extending that and catching bigger waves again and in different conditions. It's one of the highlights for me as a sweep to share that with a crew and to achieve catching a wave all the way, be it at the alley with a nice long ride or a punchy beach break where you've held a pretty tricky situation and managed to keep it straight all the way to the beach and to the sand is pretty special.
Yeah, it is. It's a real task, isn't it, to just remind them that they've just got to do their job really well and don't worry about any of the what ifs. And then, you've got to make the right calls, communicate, do your own job, watch for anything that might be going astray. So it's a real challenge, and it's a fantastic thing when you take that wave that's got a difficulty to it, and maybe a bit of change of direction or through a rip or whatever challenge there is. Yeah, it's an excellent thing to do successfully.
Yeah, I love it. And they're looking at what's coming at you, and I'm always looking at front, watching what the nose is doing, being an old surfer. And I go, geez, that was big. And I'm like, was it? I was just trying to keep the front nice and straight. Talked about gear and the boat setup. Who of the four girls, and they probably all do it, but is there anyone that's particularly special with their gear and just look after it better than someone else and their setup and the way it all is? Is there anyone head and shoulders above someone else in the Cockatoos?
Not so much, but they're all quite aware of what feels right. So, I've had a little bit of a tinker with some of the gear. Sasha normally pulls the foot chocks out of the boat. Not sure why, but I've had to repair her setup a few times.
So she's got active feet all the time. She's pushing for you.
She's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So she's rough on the gear sometimes.
Yeah.
Which you'll like to hear.
Yeah.
And I've probably had the gear set up for them pretty close to the mark over the years. It's got a bit better.
Yeah.
We played around with the oars, oar length, and they can appreciate that, and they're all experienced enough to know the feeling and maybe venture into trying something else. Whatever makes the boat go faster is the question.
I was going to say, is that the new space you go into now at that top level? Where can we get an extra 5%, or what can we tweak here just for boat speed?
Yeah, comes down to the conditions. We shorten the oars a little bit, and that gives you some advantage in some times, and how many moments are crucial in the race. So I think you just make a move and you go with it and back it.
Yeah. And like you say, there's a lot of variables there, given the conditions for one and what's going on and stage of the race. I'd like to hear, not today, but in episode 2, part B, probably from the girls too. What are some of the calls? What are some of the things that you do on a normal day in the race, and a strategy there on. I think every sweep has their own sort of call, and watching a lot of GoPro footage where we've shared. There's little bits I've taken away from you, and there's little bits I've taken away from Lyle, and other things I've seen. And there's a plethora of info and vision on YouTube that plenty of people can watch. And for a young sweep coming through, someone learning, my young bloke Elliot wants to learn how to sweep now. There's a few more boys from Palm Beach and Sydney that want to go to the sweeps conference and the big show they put on there at Palmy again coming up this year, that are just going to help fast track them a little bit. And I think they learn a lot from that vision, be it a GoPro or whatever, but being in the boat watching. Obviously, a lot of them are road, so they know what their own sweep has done, but picking up what others have done with what they do. I won't delve into it too much here. Why don't we? Well, there's some go-tos on a normal day, given general conditions.
Yeah, I suppose that, have a race plan. All be reading from the same script. Have a start. The start, extend the start until you get to the lead. Really.
Yep. So you guys will have a chat. So let's say ASRL, you're at Lawn, it's fairly flat, wind's not up, there's a little bit of a shore break, and then it's a grindy race, 2 foot at max, but slight conditions with a long period swell. You've had a chat before it. From the gun, and they're in, what do the cockatoos generally do are there half strokes, full strokes? Do you take 3, then build?
Yep.
You want to share that?
Yeah, well, pretty well go into length pretty quickly. So, if there's a wave period that allows you to get 3 strokes in, you might take it. Otherwise, if it's a bit shorter than that, I might be a little bit more rapid to try and get 3 strokes in. I have a few calls going through the actual wave, whether it's a small wave.
Yeah.
Try and get the oars in as we're going through.
Keep that boat speed, yeah.
Got a call called landing stroke, where they would come down and catch into and finish long on that landing stroke. I feel like there's a metre to gain there.
Yeah.
And then or pull the back of the boat through the wave. Try and keep any speed you had previous to hitting the wave through the other side. So, make some calls around the effect of the wave.
Yeah.
And then get on and finish the start, and we give them feedback. How you're going in the race? If we're in a bit of a line, let's stay on the start until you get maybe a bit of an advantage.
Yep.
And then the girls call a settle or a length, which we try not to drop the boat speed.
Yep.
And then just get into the rhythm of it and feel it and relax.
Yep.
And then they have an internal call where they have a lift, a reset, or just to come on again.
Yep.
Love the turn, come out of the turn, no real spaces. There's no moment where they're taking a stroke thinking, what are we doing now?
Yep.
So hopefully we've reduced those times between all the different phases of the race.
What's your call coming into the turn? What are the girls going to hear? You through the gate cans, you're 50 out or whatever?
Yeah, probably give them 50 out, 40 out, whatever meters I think it is, and just bringing it in, come up to the turn, 3, 2, 1,
yep.
Turn.
Bang. And you're grabbing Lisa?
Yeah.
What's Lisa doing herself?
Well, just at all different, we've done all the different ways of doing the turn. So if it was flat, I'd grab the stroke ball. If it was quite choppy, she would stand and they just pull it around.
Yep.
Because quite often it's choppy, you're probably coming out at a bit of an angle, or
yep.
It's always got something to do with the boat next to you. If you're leading, quite often the girl's got a bit of distance on them.
Bit
So
of space, yeah.
you're going to have to come right around. But coming out of the turn, that's another period where we like to put it on. So they're quite strong. So the start and out of the turn.
Yep. What's the call? Is it your call or an internal boat call coming out of the turn? You've come out taking 3 strokes, trying to get boat speed back up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd be driving it, but it's something that we really practice. We just bring it up over about 10 strokes.
Yep.
And then hopefully we're chasing runners.
Yep.
Between the 10th to the back break. But no space or time where we're thinking, where are we? What are we doing? Just one stroke into the next phase, into catching a wave, into getting it across the line. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want them to be, having 5 or 10 seconds where they're starting to think about what's on the headland over there.
Yeah, I think part of that was in the final 3 boats pushing for an Australian team selection. You guys have turned and there was a shark off the side of maybe Sasha in the boat, and there was a quick look, shark, and then straight back onto whatever she had to do. And it was off the bombing at Swansea Belmont. And she wasn't distracted by it. She was fully focused. But after the race, she said, there's a shark out there too. But it didn't unsettle anyone. Yeah, they had a job to do and they delivered on it.
Yeah, that's right. I spent half the time trying to make them aware so that they know what's going on. Be aware, watch your roar, feel what's happening, that row in front of you, behind you, what's happening with the waves. And then also focused on, how accurate you are with the catch, where you're finishing with your hands. So, it's a bit of both, isn't it?
Great run down that end.
Oh, no. Here we go.
This is the funny
There's
again.
runs.
Here comes a run. Here
There's
comes
runs
a good
for Lorne.
run.
There's runs for Coleroy.
Currumbin in the middle can get this if they
Northcott.
push.
Currumbin.
Currumbin.
Oh!
Chooky, hold it straight, Chooky.
Oh,
hold it straight,
Port
Chooky.
Kembla.
Port Kembla,
Currumbin. Here we go. Can Port Kembla pull over it? Currumbin. Chooky. The Cockatoos.
Go the Cockatoos.
Port Kembla. Jack. I think it's the Cockatoos.
What absolute
third.
Here we go for third.
Oh, my goodness. Third.
Lorne, Currumbin.
They're all there. No, Lorne slowed. They're all there. Wow.
What
a
finish. How's that run from
the Cockatoos? Look at them.
From Currumbin.
Sugar Shane Mosley there.
Chooky, Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Well done. There's Joey.
Joey in. Look at him.
Yeah.
Shirt off again.
Yeah.
Another shirt off. More shirts off.
Yeah, Currumbin. Do they
Put
own
your
shirts?
shirts on. Unbelievable.
Do they own shirts
Look
at Currumbin?
this. That's the Skulls right there.
They don't own shirts.
Refute, but I tell you what.
What an absolute row.
What a race. That is unbelievable.
Mate,
that was everybody's race at the Cairns.
Yep. Just goes to show, mate, with a good run, they just had an absolute beautiful run down there.
Yep.
Mate, held it straight. Chooky did a great job. They nearly looked going to slew. Pulled him back around.
Yeah, he had his
mate,
work.
Pato down the other end too. Good. The girls pulled over right at the end.
Yep. They had a great row from that alley.
They did, but it's
worked
tough.
Right back into it.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know, what do we call, maybe half a boat for second there?
Yeah, maybe half a boat. So Currumbin, I'm going to say Currumbin probably first.
Here we go. Results are incoming just as we look at the Cockatoos on screen.
Yeah. Boat captain.
Oh, there we are. Look, first and second.
Good
Very
run.
collegiate. Look at that.
See, good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
That's what you like to see.
This is... What a race.
Mate, I love hearing that. Thanks so much for sharing it. I think there's anyone listening to this is keen to hear what different sweeps do if they haven't seen it, and to hear it from you. I just think there's some good takeaways there that they can take into their own crew or on their own journey. What about when someone does get sick or injured and you've got to substitute someone else? So I'm going back to 2023 ASRL at Bulli, and we raced in at Sharkies there. We were all thrown over into the bay on the north side of Bulli, and I think something come down with Tara, and Davina got a call up. They won their reserve women's the day before. I don't know too much about. First I knew about it was Davina was in the boat the next day, and I had to leave early, to scatter some ashes. So I was on my way home and watching, listening, driving safely back to Queensland, listening to the live broadcast. And yeah, can you share that one with us? How did that pan out?
Yeah, Tara just got crook, and we've got a good reserve crew there, and so in the opportunity came to put Davina in the bow, and she's very experienced campaigner. So I rang her and she was celebrating her win.
Yep, so Saturday night. Yeah,
So she loved the opportunity, and we went really well, got the job done. Different people bring different things, so it was pretty hard for Tara to watch that.
I could imagine. Yeah.
But Davina appreciated being a cockatoo.
Yeah.
And she's run with it ever since.
Amazing. And the conditions that day just deteriorated. That big change came up and trying to punch you out to sea.
Yeah.
What was your race strategy that day? You got a new bowie, new crew, coming in. You've made the final, and then what's your recollection of that one?
Well, through the ship work and the ability to train in the morning only, we don't get a lot of chop. So, quite often we find that we're a bit challenged in the chop. So we need to do more work in the chop. But when Davina jumped in, it was atrocious conditions. In those sort of races, you just got to be in the race when it comes to getting that wave to the beach. And we weren't winning at any stage until the wave to the beach part of the race, and then girls just put it together over about 5 strokes, and we got the wave. So that's another one of those ones where you just got to be in there, hanging around, doing your best, grinding away, and give yourself an opportunity at the line.
Yeah, I think you were like lane 3, alley 3, and chasing home. And the drone footage shows you can't actually see what comes up under you, but the commentator says here comes one for Currumbin. I think they say it's Currumbin, and we'll have a look at the footage. But you guys and the hunters were just right there in it with the others. Paul Kembler was there. Pato was, everyone was vying for that elusive win and the gold medal. And right through the middle of the field there, that little bubble come up under you guys, and off you went. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, all reading from the same script at that time. That's the key to that.
It's a good feeling too on a boat when you just feel that thing come up and the boat just goes and you're like, oh, we're away here. Yeah,
absolutely.
Good stuff. Mate, there's so much more I'd love to ask you. Some great things that you've discussed there. The 2021 ASRL, guys got shifted from Mollymook and went down the coast a little bit for the finals. In that season, that was the first season, 2021 with the Cockatoos too. Was that one of the biggest wins you'd had as the crew coming together at that stage?
Yeah, that ASRL Open is such a big event now. So competing, I think we had the interstate that year as well. So when you get the best crews in a pretty flat race, and it's great to have those times where you can get a feel on your boat speed. But that race that day was particularly special. The boat was reasonably sort of new. The girls we were still getting to know each other, how we're going as a crew. We'd had a great first race on the Sunday with that thumping shore break at Long Beach.
Yep.
Long Beach there. So it was just a good event and backed up by the reserve grade girls. We had a good group of 9 of us doing a good job in rotating through the races and showing support amongst the wider club as well.
Yeah,
it was a great carnival for us. Yeah, It's really good.
A great season. Could you then go to Alex for Aussies? Get the double up there, which we talked about in the last episode too. Just another absolute banger of a season.
Yeah. That having the big journey and then wrapping it up at the Aussies was something very special, and that isn't what happened the last couple of years. Even though the seasons were fantastic, we ticked a lot of boxes throughout. Just the ability to finish the season off and to wrap it up with a gold medal at the Aussies. That didn't happen for us this year, but like you said, it's just the journey as you go along, and every moment along the way should be really good, not just that last week at the end.
Yeah. I'll circle back around. You're talking about limitations with the girls doing their shift work and rowing so early, 4:15 in the morning, and quite often they're the best conditions. Like you get on race day, you can have flat, nice conditions for a quarterfinal, semi, afternoon, finals in the chop. Perth in 2023, did that hurt you guys with the conditions and the Fremantle doctor that come up and having limitations maybe to only be able to row in still conditions in the mornings, in the dark quite a lot of the time as that time of year comes around, and then all of a sudden, is it something as a sweep to be really conscious of, those conditions?
Yeah, for sure. I think having confidence, when something changes in the conditions, your reaction should be that, unreal. These are our conditions. Lane one, love it, whatever it is. You just your reaction should be real good. So we hadn't done a lot of work in the afternoon, and when the wind came up in the arvo, I don't think we handled it too badly. We weren't really out of the race.
Oh, you were up
very close.
Yeah.
But definitely hindsight, it's easy to say, and we hadn't done work in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we tried to learn that this year, but you're limited sometimes.
Yeah. And I think they had 7 wins. They won 7 races. Is that right? Leading up to that.
Yeah,
and then
really well.
Conditions change. Big Fremantle doctor comes up. I saw that at ASRL at Allura the other year. Nice conditions all the way through, and then bang, here's the final. Swell's dropped off. Howling nor'easter, and you get a lane draw, and you're like, oh, we haven't got a lot of room here.
Also, just the way that the swell would travel down the beach. We were down the end, and the pulse or the push of the swell didn't arrive until the cruise up the southern end.
That's right.
Had hit the beach, so it was one of those ones where you do your best and get what you get.
That's what it is. No, it made, again, so much more I'd love to talk about. We'll probably get close to wrapping it up. I've got a couple of random questions here. Of the girls in the crew, who do you think would make a really good boat captain? Because we've had some phenomenally good boat captains in the club. We're very, very lucky with what we do at Currumbin.
Yeah, I'd say there's a few candidates there.
Yeah.
I think Clisser would be too nice, so I'll probably take her out of the list. But they could all do it, and they'd all have the skills to be able to do the boat captain.
Yep.
The boat captain job at Currumbin's not too difficult. We've got some real experienced sweeps there, so it's just managing the people and keeping the good things going. So yeah, they'd fit in.
They'd all do it. They'd probably do it as a team, all 4 of them would manage it and do it really, really well. I threw this one at you earlier, and I do want to air it here. You're stuck on a deserted island, and the nearest support or help is 100 kilometres away. And on that island is you and one member of the Cockatoos, and there's a surf boat with a pair of oars, and you've got to get 100 k's rowing with someone else out of that crew to get there. I'm really putting you on the spot here. Mate, you can only pick one of them. Yeah, it's you and one other. And you just decide straight up, well, we're not going to stay on this island. We're going to go for help. We're going to row 100 Ks. Who do you pick and why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. But like I said, strength and stamina. Lisa wouldn't stop. She'd want to go the whole time to survive, get the 100 Ks.
She'll go there and back.
Yeah. And Sasha would want to get there pretty quick, so I don't know if I'd survive. There, she might
burn you out.
Might burn me out. Lisa too. She's just got endless energy, so I'd probably go with Tara, the most experienced one.
Yeah, right.
Probably go similar pace.
That's a good answer.
She's not going to stop. Massive discipline.
Yeah.
Keep you on track.
That's a really good answer. Yeah, and diplomatic too. Yeah. You've done well.
Good too.
Chooky, maybe to round it up, mate, and I look forward to part 2 of episode 2, part B, when we get the Cockatoos in, and I want you to play a role in that too, because you're in that crew and there's some insights you'll give, so I look forward to that. But just to finish up here, just any other tips or any other takeaways for an established crew that you want to sort of pass on just to finish up? And it's probably a hard one because they're established in their own right anyway. And how humble the girls were with the post to the girls that did finish on the podium for second and third at Aussies. They were so excited and rapt for them. And I love the fact that the Cockatoos posted while they weren't there. Congratulations to these girls, deserve to be there, the whole lot. But yeah, any tips or takeaways for maybe not even an established suite, but just someone trying to break into that next level, trying to get to an open women's crew for the first time coming in? 2 or 3 things that you think are important to get to that next level?
Yeah, I suppose being organised. If I think of what are the really good things about what Cockatoos do, they are very organised. They allow each other to live and breathe. They're not. It's not dominated by one. It's they all have their life priorities sorted, and they hold their sport pretty highly. But they've all got families and work and everything. So I would say that being well organised, don't try and make up for unfortunate things, illness or family. Enjoy it more than make it a burden, and face up to the challenges. Like everything's an opportunity.
Yeah.
If the rain comes in or the wind, here we go. There's a chance to whack a smile on and go your hardest. It should never be a moment where, we're not going to go any good now because that shouldn't be a thought. It's all very doable.
Yeah, mate, I love that. And there's some definite takeaways there. For an emerging sweep or someone taking an A grade for the first time, and something's going to go into their kit bag and just assist them to get to the next level bit by bit. Mate, thanks for coming in. Thanks for catching up again and sharing some really good insights into the beautiful crew that is the Cockatoos. I love their love, and I love how much fun they're having. And they're just a great bunch of humans to be around, as too as yourself. So thanks, mate. Thank you, Chooky.
What a race, what a day, what a weekend, Dad.
Fantastic. Are we done?
Yeah, we're just going to give a quick shout out as we see the winners there.
Yeah.
Team Navy, of course. Thanks for all their great support. Yeah. Destination New South Wales.
Destination Wollongong.
Destination Wollongong.
Where would you rather be, Ads?
Where would you rather be?